Hi everybody and welcome back to my show. My name is Ann and I'm the Crypto Mom. Well, today you can see there is some green, actually as of this evening at some point when I finished dinner with my kids, there was a lot of green in the market. And it's funny because we haven't seen this much green in it feels like forever, right? Well, let's do the disclaimers first. I am the Crypto Mom and this is never financial advice. This is never financial advice. I'm a mom, but I'm not your mom, and I'm just kind of here to help you make better choices and give you good information. But remember, this is not financial advice. And I thought that I could start doing this video, this type of weekend video, so that you kind of you can kind of find out what went on in cryptocurrency this week. And it's not always exciting. The market's been actually kind of a little bit depressing lately, and I'm sorry if you guys have lost some money in there, and there's definitely been a pullback, but many people are still optimistic, as am I. I'm, always a crypto bull, actually. I'm not, we may be having a pullback, but I still believe that cryptocurrency offers something to the little guy like life-changing wealth. I know for my family, it's offered an additional layer of security and, just more security. And as you know, if you have kids and mortgages and things like that, it's wonderful to have that security that if you quit your job, you would still have a little bit of financial security. So even though there's been a lot of good news this week in cryptocurrency, it's kind of just not really regarded very high as much as all the FUD has been, right? So El Salvador, which is actually a country with millions of people, is taking Bitcoin as legal currency. Now, that has some people at the IMF, thinking, oh, well, we need to talk to them about that. But El Salvador is really trying to take things into their own hands in creating Bitcoin as legal currency. They are also talking about mining Bitcoin with volcano power. That's pretty amazing, just also, if you don't know what the IMF is, it is the International Monetary Fund, and it's over 190 countries that are trying to get monetary cooperation. So you can see that Bitcoin being acknowledged by an actual country is a really big deal. But that didn't seem to move the market much, because again, we've been red, but today we're looking pretty good. And they were saying, why does cryptocurrency tend to dump on the weekends? Well, in my experience, it's mainly because you don't have as many people trading, and things tend to pick up later in the afternoon or early evening Pacific Standard Time, at least in my time in Las Vegas, because that is when the Asian markets wake up and more people come into the trade. I mean, we can even see Bitcoin dominance going up, which is good in a way because that's what you usually see first in these kind of recoveries. You see Bitcoin dominance go up. And sometimes, this is a very dangerous market to trade, though, because if you look at the Fear and Greed Index, we're still pretty fearful, right? We aren't as fearful as we were in these extreme levels, but it's still pretty fearful. And the reason why is that when Bitcoin tends to recover, yes, the altcoins follow, but if Bitcoin goes on a pretty significant run, sometimes people will dump their altcoins and chase on the gain. Now, Bitcoin, is, the biggest store of value, but the altcoins, again, not financial advice, can really offer you even more X's, right? Bitcoin would have to double from here to 80,000 so that if you put $100 in to jump to $200 if it was going to double, right? But Cardano and Ripple and Binance Coin, those guys, they can go up 2-3 times more and not increase the market cap, as dramatically. So, they are more of the big shots than what Bitcoin does, even though Bitcoin is much more stability. Again, not financial advice. So El Salvador this week, and why I'm doing this video, actually, if you guys are wondering, is that I'm trying to give you a quick glimpse of the week in what has happened with Bitcoin. I know I'm not going to try to ramble, and I'm sorry that I sometimes do that. Some moms do, right? But I'm just trying to give you a glimpse of what's happened because I know everybody's busy, and I've tried to not look at my cryptocurrency wallet too much because it's been a little bit bearish. Am I a long-term bullish person on the market? Of course, because I believe that it does offer life-changing wealth if you play it right. Okay, so again, the IMF has concerns about El Salvador's play on making Bitcoin actual currency. We also have a huge thing coming for Bitcoin that hasn't happened in, like 4 years, is an upgrade to Bitcoin called Taproot. I thought that was kind of strange too, the name Taproot. But what that is doing is essentially bringing Bitcoin into the smart contracts game, right? What smart contracts are, and that's why Ethereum, everything in decentralized finance is often built off Ethereum, is because they allow for smart contracts. And a smart contract is something that can execute with certain conditions, kind of in a seamless way, right? So like if you buy a house and it takes 30 days to close, usually on a house with all this paperwork and stuff, you set all those, for example, parameters in a smart contract, then it can execute with all these little middlemen kind of getting in the way and taking the close to take so long, right? So anybody who has bought a house knows that you pay a lot of fees for houses to close as well. So a smart contract will pretty much eliminate all of those middlemen and all of those kinds of fees. So nearly all the miners, I think it was 90%, had a consensus to upgrade to this Taproot, which I think is going to be so interesting because it may completely, and I don't know for sure because this isn't going to be implemented till November, give Ethereum a real run for its money, because if Bitcoin, the biggest store of value and the most OG big daddy of cryptocurrencies, gets into the smart contracts and is able to really execute that, I think that could be a real game changer. And I wanted to go to the news and just talk about the news a little bit. This is the Taproot information that I just gave that I thought was, a really, really big game changer for that upgrade for Bitcoin for smart contracts. And it seems like people are really understanding, and leverage trading is very dangerous, right? This margin trading, because you don't know where Bitcoin is exactly going to do, but people are starting to long and short the market. And again, that's a dangerous thing. I mean, people do talk about making money that way. I don't recommend it. It's very, very difficult to do when you don't know exactly what you're doing, or you don't have a crystal ball. I don't have a crystal ball. I just kind of say, let's stay away from that unless you really want to get into that, and that you don't do these crazy 100x leverage trades like some people do in the YouTube universe. 2x, 3x, but again, not financial advice, and I'd kind of stay away from it altogether. The other interesting thing is that it sounds like Elon Musk, once again, is kind of saying that he will take Bitcoin for Tesla. I mean, Tesla will take Bitcoin. And this guy is just kind of so all over the place, right? Talking about, his concerns about the environment and how Bitcoin is taking too much, of the environment, or, downs on the environment to mine, which, is so funny because there's so many other things that take way more energy than Bitcoin mine. But at least, Elon in this case has given us a little bit of a bump. And what is also interesting is people think Bitcoin is bad for crime, and that Bitcoin got hacked. That was something else that, the pipeline of that oil, the oil pipeline, that people had a big ransom against, and, the feds eventually seized their Bitcoin. This was so funny because people were fudding and saying that, somehow the feds, they cracked the Bitcoin code. That is not true. That's not what happened. What they did was found the private keys for the wallet they were stashing the money in, and that's how they recovered the money. It wasn't any like techno magic where they hacked Bitcoin's actual algorithms and things like that. So yeah, that's not true. Okay, and I also wanted to talk about a little about them saying that we are in a bear market. Not exactly. I don't think that that's true. I think that this is a little bit of a pullback. If you look at the macro view and look at everything that's happened to cryptocurrency in this last year, I think it's just, like many people are saying, a longer cycle that is going to have these pullbacks, and they are actually totally normal to cryptocurrency. And if you're feeling the pain of these pullbacks, then you might want to ask yourself if you invested more than you could lose, because you really shouldn't invest in this volatile market more than you can just completely walk away from. Again, not financial advice, but just a mom trying to give you guys better information, right? So the next thing I wanted to talk about as well is that there's many people that are saying that Bitcoin is dead, and I honestly don't believe that. And if you think about it, where I started looking at Bitcoin like 5 years ago, we were stuck trying to get above $10,000. It seemed like forever. And then look what happened. We went all the way up to $65,000. And I know that we've gone back, 50%, but still, that is amazing. Amazing for something that started off in 2008 for pennies or something like that. I mean, it's just mind blowing, right? That's why I think that this can really offer life-changing wealth. And again, I think it's a little bit scary of a time still to jump in because we really need Bitcoin to hold, 38, 40,000-ish around there and create that lower high that we've been talking about, so that it can have the lower high and then use that as a base and take off more. But again, El Salvador, an actual country, is making Bitcoin legal tender. Nigeria is talking about, accepting Bitcoin and making it more legal in their country. I mean, it's just mind-blowing. And then we have the Taproot upgrade in November for Bitcoin that is going to make smart contracts more possible. I just think there's so much more than what people are saying here. The market sentiment may be a little bit bearish, but I think if you look macro long term, there's so many things to look forward to. There's green days, there's really red days. Again, it's creating that lower high and just kind of using it on as a continuation point. And I'll have to admit, it feels amazing when there's green days, and it does feel very depressing when it's red days. But you just have to zoom out and kind of look at the big picture. But again, jumping in right now is a little bit scary because we need things to hold. And, they say you don't want to catch a falling knife, which means that if Bitcoin, like for instance, Cardano is $1.53 right now, and, maybe Bitcoin doesn't hold because Bitcoin is the leader right now, and Cardano will jump, fall back down to $1.44 or under that, like recently. So, you want to have your money on the sideline and just kind of, if you really want to get in the market, dollar cost average in, don't throw in your whole stack, right? Because we need to see, Bitcoin especially to hold. And as I was saying, usually dominance goes up, and a lot of people, they dump their altcoins and chase after this gain. But again, none of this was financial advice. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what was happening this week and some of, mom's wisdom that I have from being in this space for a while. Okay, so if you could please tick that little bell and remind yourself when, I have a new video out and want to share some more of this safe and sane conversation of you. And if you'd leave me a like, that would really help me a lot because eventually I would love to do this full-time on YouTube. I'm an engineer during the day, a mom every day, but this is my real hobby and passion. So if you could please subscribe, tick that little bell to remind you that I have a new video, and offer me a like or a nice comment, that would be great. Okay, guys, happy Sunday evening, and have a great start off to your week tomorrow, and I'll see you next week. Bye.